decides to land.
You haven't mentioned Gilbert, I guess, if you transfer, how he looks.
Gilbert is obviously is learning, you know what I mean, and coming in, but you love, I mean, he seeks contact. He got a lot of range, a lot of physicality that he brings to the team, and you just love what he's doing. But, you know, obviously he's making strides every day to get better and take that position over. So he's in a battle with Caden Bridges, who kind of knows the system, knows what those guys are battling out. But you love to see him progress every single day, and that's what you love to see, because he's been showing that he's capable, and why we're recruiting him to come here, and he's starting to get more comfortable and understanding what's going on. Because, I mean, most guys, you know, they come in, they thinking while they're trying to play it, it slows you down a little bit. So the more he get comfortable, the more he understands the scheme. I see him doing some big things for us this coming fall.
And who else working at nickel so far, or you at least working in?
Man, I mean, I'm moving multiple guys around. I'm always trying to make sure that guys get comfortable being uncomfortable, and I want to make sure that these guys develop their overall game, outside, inside. I mean, I played, you know, moving K at nickel. I played JD Rim at nickel. Nehemiah been at nickel. Right, DJ has took snaps at nickel. So it's just moving guys around. Puckett understands the nickel. So it's moving guys around to find out what's the best 5 or 4 guys that you're able to put on the field, but also understand the full scheme. So if you ever get in a pinch, guys understand what we got to do to get out of a pinch. So I'm all about developing them inside out, so they understand the importance of understanding the whole back end.
I know some assistant coaches have some definitions this spring. How do you feel about your depth so far? Do you have the numbers you need to play right now?
No, I never got enough numbers. As long as Coach Harsin give me a scholarship number, trust me, we're gonna go get as many DBs he'll allow me to have. So, and again, that just goes to you need the depth. It takes a lot of running, and what we do defensively. You want guys that can go out there and play, that can run and hit, and stay fresh for 4 quarters, because games are won in 4 quarters. So you want multiple guys that you can trust to put in those situations, go play. So I mean, we're still always recruiting them in. So you're always trying to find guys to make sure that room never get comfortable. They never feel that they have a job. So that's my job, is to make sure that we make sure that room understands what we're trying to do every single day.
Zach, what are you expecting out of Zion Puckett this year?
I mean, Zion's potential is extremely high. I mean, I'm expecting, you know, Zion to go as further as he want to go and being an all-conference safety, because he's one of the smartest guys in the room, and he can play all the positions. You know, boundary, field, nickel. He did it last year, but he's the leader of the group that understands what everybody's doing on the field. So his presence of not being on the field kind of hurts you a little bit, but I mean, my expectation for him is to be extremely high and go be all conference safety, and hopefully he can maintain and stay healthy.
He was a great high school quarterback too. You sort of see some of that in him.
Absolutely. The beauty of half of the room with Simp and him being able to play quarterback in high school, they see the game differently. They see the full picture, and that's what you want on the back end, is understanding what the quarterback is reading, understanding the rotation, and Zion understands those things. So it'll allow him to move faster and play faster, because he understands what the final picture should look like for those guys. So it's always good to have a guy that played high school quarterback, to be able to play on the back end.
And you think you get Zion back this spring?
Yeah, Zion been taking reps. I mean, he's done things in 707 and done some team things that keep him out. We just got to protect him and keep him out of live situations. So, but he's done a great job of staying off the ground and being able to take those reps and be on the field from a communication standpoint.
When you talk about that versatility, whether it's, you know, playing field or playing boundaries, is there any sort of collective thing that you're seeing that the group sort of needs to work on as a whole at either of those spots that you're trying to stress?
Say that one more time.
Just like when you're talking about sort of being able to play boundary or field or nickel or whatever it may be, is there anything you're seeing at any of those spots sort of collectively that is something that the group needs to work on still?
Yeah, I mean, it's just understanding the technique and the eye progression of every position that you're in, because those change depend on the call. So guys just understanding what the technique, what their eye progression, what's their run pass key, and that's what you want to focus on, is make sure they understand that, because one thing you try not to do is give them too much where they can't play fast or be efficient in their position. So as things starting to slow down, you're starting to settle a guy in a certain position, but right now you want to force them to learn the entire playbook. You want to force them to be able to understand what we're trying to do schematically. So now, when you get in a pinch, guys know what to do, or they've done it before, and now you're not trying to focus on that in the middle of fall camp or middle of the season of trying to teach a guy how to play a position. So I'm just, pushing every guy to make sure they do as much as they can to learn.
For the second wave of lessons coming in, you can give that kind of the big picture overview of how spring practice is going.
It's been good. The one thing we've been emphasizing is just being competitive. I mean, being very tough. I mean, obviously, as we get towards the end, it's like we're focusing on finish and not just finishing. I'm always talking to these guys about valid finish. You know what I mean? How we tackle, how we get off blocks, how we attack the ball, how we get picks, right? And then just that communication piece that always goes on the back end of guys being able to talk and be on the same page is the most important thing. So the focus on the communication and focus on the finish has been the main focus this whole spring.
You were talking about Zion there. I mean, he even had some injury issues before you even got here. Just how tough is that for him to kind of seems like every time he's hitting his stride, he's got a little bit of a snag. Just has that been something that's bothered him, and then kind of what's been your advice to him?
Well, anytime you go through injuries, you got some doubt in your mind. But Zion, I mean, he's built on his faith. He understands what comes with the game of football. He don't get down. He don't make excuses. He just show up and he just keep going. And that's what you love about him. And we have conversations about that. But I think as long as Zion can walk and breathe, and he got 2 arms and 2 legs, and he got a heartbeat, he gonna continue to push and go play the game. So that's what you love about him, because you love the game. But it's just been things that shoulders and things that he's been able to work on. But I don't think it set him back in it, because his mindset, his maturity is to always go out there and fight to do what he can to go play the game.
What was your process of seeking out DJ as a transfer, and kind of what did you like about him? Seeing maybe his tape, getting to know, what did you like about him that made you say, hey, we want to bring him in?
Well, I mean, anytime you're going through, what's been a headache for everybody is the transfer portal, but it's also been a blessing and a curse, because you're able to find guys like DJ who made the decision to go, far from home and then come back, and being from this state that understands what it is in the South and how the game is played. But, going through the process and seeing his film and just seeing the things that he did on tape and the way we play, it was always intriguing, because he was a playmaker out there, and he's obviously been a playmaker here this spring in terms of what we're trying to do. And you just see his growth every day. But a guy that now had a lot of experience of playing, and a guy that understands that position and being very productive at that position, you always want to give yourself a chance to bring him in. Like I said earlier, is to create competition and go fight for a starting job. And he's doing that every day to go fight for that job and push guys like Nehemiah and push guys like Simple, who's played a lot of ball here. So he's coming in to take a job, and that's what you want him to do.
It seems like that's kind of a common theme for at least some of the transfers, that you go somewhere far. With Marcus Harris was just talking about it last week, and then get a little homesick and kind of want to come back home. Just how much of that conversation do you have? Even maybe guys don't even end up coming to Auburn. Just how much do you kind of see that as a theme, and maybe being a benefit of the transfer portal right now, is that guys can come back home if they want to?
Well, everybody's life is different and what they're trying to get. And guys that go off and that family couldn't get out there and see them play every night or every Saturday. Now, with this thing's open up, now they get a chance to play in front of their family, their loved ones. So that's always big when you get a chance to go off and come back. And I think it's been beneficial for Marcus. You've seen how he's been able to play this spring. Guys put on a lot of weight, and he's been disruptive up front, right? So just being around guys every day, you're seeing it a lot more when guys go off and they come back, and that's just part of having an opportunity to come back and play in front of your family.
Marcus was saying last week he thinks that the Iron Bowl last year was the best game for him, but he said a lot of the guys on the defense think that was their best game as well. Roger had a huge game. How much do you guys as a defense ever point to that and say, hey, you know, when everything's clicking in the right way, this is the kind of defense we can be? Do you guys harken back on that at all?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you get a chance to show what the standard is on tape and how we can be great, the beauty about the Iron Bowl, that should be the style and how we play in every game, not just that game. So that's the standard that they show that they're able to do. So you try to make sure you emphasize that so guys know you never get too high, you never get too low, you always stay in the middle. But those guys are able to understand what the standard is and obviously come back and just approach every game and not just the Iron Bowl. I mean, the Iron Bowl is the Iron Bowl. I mean, you know, it don't take much to get excited for that one. But you know, the way they came out and played and understood that the guys from this state understood the importance of that game, and everybody came to play.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks.